Welcome to the Left of Str8 show, where we talk entertainment, music, books, foodies, and more each week with special guest interviews of interest to the LGBTQ community and our straight allies. Direct from the entertainment capital of Northeast Ohio. Your host, Scott Fullerton, chats with some of your favorite entertainers, celebrities, newsmakers, and behind-the-scenes people across the country and around the world who make it all happen. So sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and let's start talking.
Well, hello, everyone. We're back for another great interview today on the Left of Str8 show. As always, I'm your host, Scott Fullerton, where I talk to creative members of our LGBTQ community and our straight allies. From business to entertainment, foodies to books and music, I get so lucky to talk to them all. And today, I'm excited to bring back an old friend to the Left of Str8 show. I've been following David Cruz, the person, and David Cruz, the advice giver, for many years now. He's back to talk about his newest business venture he started during the pandemic with his friend and business partner, Allan Wynn. David is the mastermind behind Finding Cupid, which you may remember. He's been at the forefront of guiding many to the joys of love and how to navigate it when it's not so joyful. You may even remember seeing him as a matchmaker on TV. Well, as everything shut down in 2020 and not one to rest on his laurels, David has embarked on a new entrepreneurial journey called FruitLoots. It's an online marketplace for gifting that he and Allan created. And from deep diving into the nuances of relationships to now creating platforms that cater to the diverse LGBTQ community and our allies, David's journey has been as colorful as it is impactful. I'm excited to bring my friend back to the show and catch up all about this new business and life in general. Welcome back, Mr. David Cruz. How you doing, sir?
Hey, Scott. So good to see you, and what a wonderful introduction. Thank you so
Well,
much.
you are a wonderful human being, my friend. As I said, I have been a longtime fan, way back in Finding Cupid days, and I still haven't
Yeah.
found the right guy yet, but you've been giving me advice along the way, so I appreciate that.
Oh my
But
goodness.
wow, I'm just excited to bring you back in. It's been a hot minute since you've done the podcast and since we've had a chance to talk. I usually ask the first two questions, where you're from and what part of the community, but we know you so well, but you have been married to your hubby, and I do live vicariously through your social media. So talk about you and hubby are doing in this fantastic European vacation almost a year ago.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, first of all, I mean, you and I have been, I feel like, in a very long relationship ourselves. You have been there from the very beginning of my career, and you've literally watched me. It feels, I got warm fuzzies just, kind of doing that flashback with you there. But you were one of the very first people to kind of give me a moment and to talk about what I was doing and to give me a voice out in that world. And when I was single and started to date and got engaged, I mean, it's kind of a beautiful, like, warm, fuzzy thing. I just, thank you. Thank you for having
Well,
me
you're
back here and
welcome.
doing all this.
You're
But
very welcome.
hubby and I are good. Hubby and I are now with dog. We got Oliver, our West Highland Terrier, who just turned 7. He is actually, we got him the same year we got married. So it'll be coming on 7 years this January that we got married. So it's been amazing. I think what people always think is that, like, your life is meant to find that one person, and when you do, the journey ends. And that's really not where it is. Like, there are several journeys in your life. There's the journey of self-discovery of who you are and what your purpose is in life, and what you do in the world. Then there's that chapter that you write with a partner when you eventually meet them. And then there's this unspoken about journey that you have when you're in a relationship, when you're married. And that is a whole other world of, like, communication, partnership, planning, and happiness. There's a lot that happens with it. And I'm kind of writing that chapter right now. So it's been wonderful. It's been 7 years, and again, with dog now.
Gotta have those fur babies along when you can find the
Ah,
right one. I love that. And
yes.
he's so cute in all the pictures. You post some great pictures of you guys together.
Thank you.
Another thing we'll touch on briefly, like I said, your history, they can just look back at our past interviews, but you're such a devoted person of Guam. Talk about living there, and you've helped that country and everything kind of raise awareness for things that go on there. Of course, we're happy in Southern California now, but talk about, it seems like with Donald Trump and everything, we're back to the same old kind of racism and different things going on. How has that journey been for everyone in your family back there?
Yeah, I always, they always say never forget your roots, and I think it's super impossible for me to forget where I came from, and it's always an education because not a lot of people know where Guam is, and it's a tiny little island in the middle of the South Pacific, and it's a territory of the United States, similar to Puerto Rico, and I always wonder like why Puerto Rico gets so much like attention. They've got so many people that come out of there. And I was like, God, Puerto Rico's like a machine, of all these celebrities and singers. But Guam is, other side of the world and a little slower, a little quieter, similar to Hawaii and all the islands that are out there. But, Guam is near and dear to my heart, and it is so tiny and, but it's got a lot of heart and a lot of people. And when you do run into somebody from Guam, they're the nicest people and very welcoming. For me, Guam has been, a bigger part of my book and a bigger part of a chapter in my book as anything else has been. Growing up, it was a conservative Catholic small island, and when I grew up there, I went to high school. I was there since I was 5 years old, and then all the way up to when I graduated high school, and it was like a lot of things during that time very conservative and not very welcoming to, young queer youth. And it kind of became a part of my journey to kind of help that queer youth and bring visibility to, an identity to the people that exist there. And I think the queer youth that exists there, and it was never there for me when I was growing up. And so I've done a lot of things over the years to, campaign for LGBTQ plus rights. I think I was there along, at the time when they were just beginning to vote for marriage equality there, and that was like a big thing. I went back with Jim Obergefell, who was, Obergefell versus Hodges, which is like the Marriage Equality Act. Him and I were there.
Yeah,
We
from
spoke at
Ohio here. Yeah, definitely.
yeah, and we spoke at, we were key speakers at the University of Guam's graduation and just kind of, fighting for that. And I think it was like, gosh, not even a year later that finally changed and they voted for marriage equality there. And, and then since then, just really kind of, trying to do whatever I could to, to lend a voice to that fight. And you're absolutely right. Things still today are, God, it almost feels like a landslide. It felt like we were moving forward so well. And, they always say never rest, never, hold a blind eye to what people are capable of. And I think the last, you know, 6, 7 years have been, exactly that. And, we didn't, you kind of had that sigh of relief when the Biden Harris, presidency took hold, but then, just ever so quickly, things have slid backwards. So the fight never ends. My fight, is always there for not just the people of Guam, and I'm very close with the current leadership there, the governor and lieutenant governor. Who the lieutenant governor is like the first out lieutenant governor of the island, and he's done a lot, for equality there and having pride festivals and marriage equality and equal rights. So I'm glad to be connected with them, but on the forefront here, I'm just one person, also with everybody else, but we all have to come together to continue to fight for basic human rights, and that fight never ends. So I know there was a little bit of a ramble, but it never ends. It really
No,
doesn't.
it's why I asked you the question. I mean, that's one of the things I love about you, David, is you're so passionate about things. You're always giving back, whether through Guam, through your relationship advice, even through when we talk about FruitLoots later on, just you guys' mission statement and your value statements go back to
Yeah.
the giving to others. So we're going to talk about all that in a bit because that's one of, I think, your core values that I just love about you.
Yeah.
I do want to start. We're going to do one question
Okay.
with your old life, just because I was
Yeah.
such a fan of Finding Cupid and everything. But you guys actually kind of got to bring it to Fruit Loops by doing, after a couple years off the air, 4 to 5 years off the air, you kind of got to have a little reunion and bring some of that back and talk about it. How was that bringing the gang back together?
Yeah, I mean, listen, Fruit Loots, is again a great chapter that I'm just starting in my life. And Finding Cupid, which for those who don't know, Finding Cupid was a website that I created, and it was really dedicated to bringing love back into the world. I think. I think this show will certainly date me as we start to timestamp a lot of things here, but I'm fine with it. Listen, it's part of my journey. I started Finding Cupid when I moved to Los Angeles because I moved here in 2009, I believe. And when I came here, I had just gotten out of a relationship, brokenhearted. It was like a classic, you couldn't write it, any better, but brokenhearted, starting over. It was like Felicity mixed with Sex in the City, mixed with like any sort of weird rom-com at the time. And just even saying that dates myself. But that was my starting over point, and I started working for Frontiers magazine in Los Angeles as a column writer, talking about dating and moving to the city, and that soon became Finding Cupid, my website, and became the podcast, which we started before podcasts were what they are today. Even you, it's like you were doing this well before podcasts, were podcasts, and so it really was a documentation of what life, or a snapshot of what life was like dating in a big city. And, over the course of me, going through my 30s at that point, it was a snapshot into like the difficulties and the challenges of believing in love and being in love, or, and dating. And, had the pleasure of working with a lot of great people that were co-hosts on my show. And, at some point, I really just talked about it all. And especially with being a matchmaker, when the matchmaker thing came into my life, that was yet like what I was already doing on steroids. I was talking about love and dating and relationships with these great co-hosts. And then it was like injection of matchmaker on TV for Bravo, which was like, you couldn't have gotten like more on steroids talking about love than that. So I took time off, similar, to you. You kind of talk about love and dating and relationships over and over, and so much that it kind of just, you've talked about it and enough, or talked about it all. And I think there was a lot of stuff happening at the time that gave it fuel. Dating apps, matchmakers, dating websites, that was like all new. And so it gave me fuel for many, many years. But after a while, it just kind of stopped. And I think everything kind of stayed the same. And so I quietly said, like, listen, I think I've spoken about it enough. I stopped, working with Patty. The matchmaker thing ended. And so I kind of like silently and happily closed that chapter. But when I started this new business, we started to talk about gifts, for Valentine's Day and love. And then all of a sudden I found myself, chin deep again in talking about dating and infusing these things together. And we thought, what a wonderful idea it could be if everyone was, open to it, to reunite, the old team again. And I think it had been, oh gosh, now I can't remember, 5 or 7 years at that point when all of my old co-hosts have been together again. And it's insane, even just how much time, had passed, but what has happened to all of those people since then. So it was nice to kind of reunite everybody again. Matt, who is my co-host, who is a dear friend of mine. And I met Matt because I was trying to set Matt up with an old client of mine, a millionaire matchmaker. Matt and I go way back. But Sean and Natalie, Sean's now married and Natalie is, still single, but has come into her own also now, and is becoming kind of, an advice giver herself, a relationship coach herself. So it's just been wonderful to kind of see everyone kind of reunite, and it was nice. It was like reuniting for a high school, reunion of sorts, but it was wonderful. It was beautiful.
It was fun to watch again. And like you said, I mean, after talking about it for so long, you were just a couple years into marriage. It's time to start living it too, right? So it's time for you to actually live everything you were doing, which I love that part. And I just think it's a lot of, we all have to grow in different ways. So I definitely feel for you there. But it was nice to see the whole gang back together again after following for
Yeah.
so long. Let's start moving into this new journey, though. I mean, a pandemic happens in 2020. Nobody's going out dating. You're not leaving your house. Everyone's starting to order things online. Talk about Allan and yours friendship and how you guys started talking and how this kind of idea came together for you guys.
Yeah, well, I'll start with Allan. Allan and I have been friends, gosh, for over 20 years. When I first moved out to Los Angeles from Guam, or to California from Guam, I have family that lives in Southern California. And, while I was going to school in the Orange County area, of course, the natural thing to do at the time when you're a young, 20-year-old is to get a job at the mall. And so Allan and I actually worked at the mall in South Coast Plaza in Orange County, and that's where we met as friends. And he was somebody that like worked at another store, and then we eventually met working at the same store together. And that was just kind of the start of our friendship, and we've been friends ever since then. Weirdly enough, I think we moved to LA the same year, but didn't know that we had both been here. Um, and Allan is just like, he has such a keen eye. I mean, I'm always like aspiring to be like him because he has gone on to have this wonderful career in visual merchandising, and everything about him, his aesthetic is very like, manicured to like this like high level of fashion. And we both had gone on to have careers in working, corporate retail and fashion, and for many years. But Allan has always just been quite meticulous. And when he and I, reunited here in Los Angeles, we had always just kind of talked about doing stuff together. Just because his taste level is so, it's just so fabulous. And, even when I go to his house, I'm like, this is a showroom, it's like, he's just got great taste. So, the year of 2020 rolls around, and, everyone's just sitting around trying to figure out, you got the people that were being plant daddies, you got the people that were sourdough daddies, and Allan and I just weren't those people. We just were, at home. And so I think one conversation that we had, and it started that summer of 2020 when, the prides were canceled and there was no anything really, everything was canceled. But, to being a gay person, in our community, one of the things that is so near and dear to us is that celebration of pride. And the thing that we had this deep discussion on was that it was so challenging to try to celebrate with friends, obviously, that summer. And we wanted to like send gifts to people. That's what everyone was doing at that point, right? Like, how do I send you something? How do I send you something that brings some light and sunshine and happiness and drops it to your door, whether planned or unplanned? And how do I make you feel good from afar, right? And we tried to do that for Pride, and we had this conversation about how difficult it was to send gifts to people that were made by, members of the queer community. And we knew that there were amazing small businesses that existed out there, but there was not a singular platform that made it easy. What we did find was that there were so many people that were just really good at rainbow washing. And, we've kind of gotten used to that over the years. It was, and I'm just using these brands loosely, but like Pride or Prada or Louis Vuitton or whoever it is, from the good stuff to Evian water, slapping on, rainbow pride rainbows or even just regular rainbows onto things and calling it pride. And that was super disheartening for us because when we were trying to send these gifts to our friends, we found amazing brands that were out there, but we couldn't gift in a way that we, that we wanted to. And so we kind of just kept saying like, I wish there was a company that could make it easy for us to send gifts that also elevated these underrepresented communities, whether it was Black or, Asian American, like all of these, minority groups have really amazing small businesses that are out there. Particularly the LGBTQ plus community just doesn't have a singular place to celebrate them, to give them a focus moment and obviously to buy from. So that was really the summer that FruitLoots was born. And we really just kind of put our heads together and said, let's create something to feature underrepresented communities and small business makers, but let's put all of them at the table first. Let's buy from queer small business owners first, and female and Black and Asian American, and like all of the underrepresented communities. And then if there's any money left over, let's give it to all of the national, big brands that are there and fill in between. And so that was really the moment that FruitLoots was born and why it was born.
It's such an amazing concept because you see there's a lot of these smaller companies kind of come around. They'll do it in clothing and they'll do it in like shaving kits or something like that. But this is the first one that's really, like I said, one of the things I love most about your company is everything is labeled. If it's from a women-owned business, a person of color business, LGBT business, or an ally, you guys really go out of your way to feature that. And I think that's remarkable. I think that's something that's needed to be done for a long time, and surprised it wasn't done before to some extent.
Yeah, that's the same head scratch that we came to as well. Like, how are there so many amazing businesses out here? Why are we just slapping rainbows on things and calling it this? Why did we need Black Lives Matter to buy from Black, business owners? And, why did we need all of these things in order for it to be the catalyst to embrace and promote and to highlight all of these business owners? And when it came to, the queer community, we really just kind of sat there and said, let's do this for us, but then let's also pull in other people that are wonderful and underrepresented and fold them into this as well, because they are also part of our communities too. And it just, Allan's Asian, I'm Pacific Islander. It's just like, all of these layers just kind of lent themselves to the business plan of what we would do. And as we've kind of gone on, we continue to find and meet other amazing small businesses, and they've become kind of part of our little like community, like our Facebook group of little business owners. And it's wonderful to meet them. And the thing that you will hear over and over again is that, it is hard to get that visibility for them. It is hard for people to buy from them. And it is hard to compete. And so we've kind of taken it upon ourselves to, with the resources that we have, find and promote and to buy from all of these people.
Absolutely love it. Now, I mean, and I could told you off air, I didn't really understand your background before. I knew you from all of your relationship advice. I didn't realize that your business acumen with like Sugarfina, and then I saw that Allan was with Diesel Forever and the visualizing, like you said. How do your strengths each come to the company? I mean, I see you kind of more front facing in the business. How did you guys kind of figure out where you wanted to land in the business?
Oh, that was an easy one. I think after we decided like, hey, let's go into business together, we kind of sat there and said, okay, well, what do you want to be in charge of? And when there's two people, you're just kind of like, well, what I know what Allan's strengths are. I know what mine is. And we've been friends for a long time. So it's quite a casual conversation. But my like professional career has always been helping like either big companies branch off into new divisions or startups grow, and running sales divisions, creating sales for companies, and selling is my thing. I've been selling myself when I was on Bravo as a person in entertainment. I've been selling as a young kid working in the mall, and I'm really good at, building businesses. And I think it was very clear, like, Allan and I meet in the middle of like the two minds. I'm sorry, I should say that Allan's got this amazing visual merchandising career that I've said before. So aesthetically, it was like creative director, definitely Allan. Business stuff and sales would be me. And so creative director, CEO, that's kind of where we land. But as co-founders, we make this beautiful, mix of kind of vision, and you see it kind of on our website. And so I think we come together and really kind of pour all of our experiences, into the products we create, the collaborations that we do, and the people that we find. And so, while each of us have big strengths that we bring to the table, I think it's when we work together that we really find, there's this beautiful thing that comes of the collaboration between us. So I think it was super easy to kind of go, okay, you definitely do this. And there are things that I'm like, Allan, I don't know how to do that. I mean, Allan's been trying to teach me Photoshop for the last, I don't know, a couple of years, probably for longer than that. But I think I'm better at it now. Still not as good as he is, but he is the design guy. So,
Right.
but that's how we divide and conquer.
Well, the synergy just works out beautifully, and we played a small clip before the interview aired here. We're going to play a little mashup of some of your social. I mean, you guys are great on social media. You're on TikTok, which is so big now, and Instagram, and you can really see your personality shine with the design of the product. So let's take just a couple seconds, let our listeners take a quick look at that, and we'll be back on the other side. We're talking to David Cruz. Him and his buddy Allan have formed FruitLoots, a fantastic gifting company. We'll be back on the other side listening to the Left of Str8 show right here on the Left of Str8 Radio Network. Alrighty.
Why shop FruitLoots? How do I shop FruitLoots? And then what am I going to do with all that time that I save after I use FruitLoots? Okay, lots of questions. Let's get started. Question number one, first of all, we're freaking cool. So that's why you're going to shop us. Go to our website at fruitloots.com. Look at that site. It's amazing. Okay, we make it really easy. First and foremost, go to curated gift boxes. That's the easiest way to shop. That way you don't have to think about it and you save so much more time. We put it all together for you. Today, I'm going to choose a really cool happy box. It's one of our most popular ones. It brings smiles to faces of children all across the world. Just kidding, but it's really cool. Anyways, add that to cart, and then you're going to go to checkout. And of course, you want to write a cute message to make people know that you care. So I'm writing happy birthday. Super easy. We'll handwrite it on a card. And then look at it. You win. You're a winner. You saved so much time. Now what are you going to do with all this time? Yeah, let's do it. We're going to go party, TGIF, all that good stuff. Drinking tiki, whatevers. Life is good. All right, go shop FruitLoots. You're amazing. This is how FruitLoots saved my life. So, okay, I'm going about my everyday business, drinking coffee, playing with my dog because he's so freaking cute. Love him. Watering my plants, snacking because that's what I do all day long. And then, finally working. And then I realized, what did I forget? Fuck! I forgot my friend's birthday. Okay, head to fruitloots.com because they're the best. You go onto the website, you can build your own box, or, because it's really easy, you can just pick from the curated gifts that are already pre-assembled and made, and then you just got to choose. So I'm going to this birthday one, choosing this cocktail gift because my friend's a lush. He'll appreciate it. Choosing this, adding it to cart, and then, oh yeah, don't forget when you're at checkout to write a note. Here's my note. Happy birthday, Betch. Did you think I'd forget? Oh my God, LOL. Whew, thank God. Now, what was I doing? Oh yeah. Where does Pedro Pascal work out so I can find him? Oh, there he is. Okay. Hey, Zaddy. FruitLoots saved my life. Go shop us, fruitloots.com. Welcome to the first episode of Fruit Snacks. Hey everyone, it's your favorite fruit, me, David. I have 4 easy steps for us to rejuvenate while we're all priding out during Pride Month. I know we need a moment to chill, just like the candle. So start by setting the mood with our chill candle. It smells like eucalyptus and mint. Ugh, total spa moment. Next, we're going to move on to the face. It needs a reboot. So we're going to start with our 2 favorite products from Gregory's Dillon Skincare. This is Velvet Glow, which is a face mask. Scrub that face out with that yummy clay there. Get it all clean. And then we're going to move on to the eyes because these eyes are tired. The Eye Slept In is this gorgeous, yummy under eye treatment. Look at this bottle. Whoop. Yes, delicious. Put it under the eyes. It's amazing. And then you're going to finish this whole thing off with our cooling mineral hydro mist from Alder, New York. It comes in this cool little spray bottle. You just open it up, you spray it on your face, and you are rejuvenated, ready to go for the day. Take it everywhere with you. Pool parties and more pie parties. So that's it. You're rejuvenated. Now on to more parties. Okay, bye. Now you've been fed by your fruit snack.
Alrighty, we are back. That was David Cruz, spokesman and more of the sales-oriented side of FruitLoots. David, like I said, the packaging is amazing. We got to see some of it in the clip there. Talk about what's exciting for you in finding these packs. I mean, you have everything from love to birthdays to surprise. How fun is it to curate some of these things that you guys actually curate?
Curating for FruitLoots is just kind of like our favorite thing here. And I guess for those who, want to get a quick soundbite of like what FruitLoots is, we are an online marketplace that you can go to in lieu of sending flowers to someone, in lieu of sending like fruit a basket to somebody. There are gifting opportunities that everybody has on a daily basis, and we are an option now. And as an option, we, prioritize buying from minority makers and buying from the LGBTQ plus community. So we feature all of these amazing giftable products. And what we do is we curate it for you. So if you're somebody that's like, I cannot spend 2 more minutes online trying to make a gift, go to our website. We do the work for you. You got a birthday, you got to send a gift that just wants to put a smile on someone's face. We've curated boxes already for you, and we've curated a lot of these makers and gifts together, so you don't even have to think about it. There's a multiple price points, that you can choose from, and then you just pick it, put in a little card, and then we'll do the rest for you. If you're somebody that loves to do it like we do, you can curate it, and if you know the person so well that you're like, actually, I want to do more of this and a little bit less of this, you can do it yourself. So you can create your own box as well. And we got all the gift wrap there for you, so you can pick and choose and build it however way you want it. For us, just kind of finding everything, kind of doing all of this over and over again, it definitely melts all of our experiences and worlds together and past lives and fashion and retail together. But it is, it's a lot of work. But the most satisfying part is really just meeting everybody. Like every single person that we buy from, there's a story. And so we intimately know who all of these people are that we buy from. And it just brings so much happiness to our hearts to, get people out there and feature them. And I cannot tell you how many times, we've had, Zoom calls or phone calls with, a maker that's like, thank you so much, because no one's ever reached out and, wanted to hear more from me, or I put this business out there and it's like, you never know if anyone sees you or he likes my stuff. And so to get validation in some small form from us and to get the support in some small form from us, really means a lot to them. And in turn, it like fills our hearts so much, just to kind of fold them into the FruitLoots universe, as we say.
Well, it's one of my favorite things on the website, too, is because you guys are only out 2 people right now, and you only have so much hours in the day. And I don't really like companies that you only have one point of view. So you let people kind of pitch products on the website. So you give people the opportunity to come to you for things you may not have ever thought of before, right?
Absolutely. We're always on the lookout for new vendors. And so if there are people that you love, or if you're a vendor yourself, there's a little box at the, on the opening page of our site that says, if you love somebody, click here and tell us about them and we'll check them out. I'm constantly on Instagram as everybody else is, and, looking for small businesses that I haven't discovered before. And I get so excited when I really discover, so many businesses that are out there, and from trade shows to, pop-ups or farmers markets. It's so exciting to kind of play like, where's Waldo, with queer businesses. And, there's a lot of them out there, and a lot of, small business owners are part of our community. And so I want to, in some, I'm not a billionaire, so I don't have $1 billion to go out and buy everybody's products, but I'll try as hard as I can to fold them into, the next wave of curations that we do, or to work with them for special collaborations. So, it's just it's a fun moment to pick and choose. It's a fun moment to do photo shoots with people's products and to collaborate with them. Sometimes, we'll make special products just for us. So, it is a fun collaborative process that I don't think I've ever experienced before in my life. So there's a lot more value to it than a lot of things that I've certainly done.
It's amazing. And I love that it's so ready made. Like, I mean, we talk about you guys do stuff for corporate gifting and things, but just thinking about how marriage is involved over the 8 years, how we wanted to be able to find something queer specific for your groomsmen or for your maid
Yeah.
of honor and things like that. And you have places to go that look really cool that are supporting the community. So it's got to be kind of great to find those kind of companies to partner with, or different people that are looking for something for a group gift. That's got to be kind of nice as well.
Yeah, and thank you for bringing that up. One of the things that's really fantastic about what we do is that you can, if you own a company, and we've worked with several people over the holidays, and you want to send fantastic gifts to your, coworkers or your best customers, but you want to put the dollars back into the community, we're one of those businesses. And there are several of them, but we're one of those businesses where it's like a domino effect. So buying from FruitLoots, help support small businesses that are minority or they're LGBTQ plus. So you do good 4 times over when you shop with FruitLoots. And, whether it is a very big gift, we worked with like the Bill Gates Foundation last holiday, and it's when you're buying gifts, for your team, that's one thing. Or if you're just somebody that works in real estate or owns a hair salon and you want to buy 5 or 10 boxes for your best customers, we do all those things. And we even, go as far into curation, or designing as far as the sleeves are concerned. We can really make it all of your own. You just give us a ring, you go to our website, send us a message, and we'll figure it out for you. So we have a blank canvas for anyone who wants to get really crazy, but then also, it's easy enough for anybody on your street to say like, hey, I'm just bringing this to school for all the teachers, or I'm giving this, to my friends at the holidays. So we really make it easy for you to bring us your budget, or, get groom's gifts, as you said, for your wedding that's coming up, and know that it is going back to the community and going back to a queer-owned business.
I love that. Like you said, I know so many great real estate people that specialize in getting houses for queer people. And how nice is it to have a nice curated gift for them when they get their new home or things like that. So I love the thought that can go behind it as well. So that's kind of
Yeah.
amazing. And I just want to we talked about earlier your values and your mission statement. Mission statement, I love. FruitLoots is a fresh voice in the world of modern gifting. We strive to provide a whimsical, elevated, and unapologetic twist on the curated gift box, inspired by art, humor, and our beloved LGBTQ community. I love that you guys feature women, POC, LGBT, ally owned. Like I said earlier, I think it's such a great mission to have. How empowered do you feel by that? I mean, that's got to be kind of a great thing, especially knowing your personality and how much you give to others. That's got to be kind of exciting for you.
Yeah, I mean, to be a purpose-driven brand, is one thing, but when it is near and dear to your heart, I think it's a completely different story, because we know what it is as, LGBTQ plus people, to have a voice and to not have a voice. And when it comes to business, and when it comes to getting a share of the world of commerce, it's tough. It's still tough. And all of the people that we've met, whether they're a part of our community or not, it's still tough to be a small business owner in general. Wipe away the labels. It's tough to be a small business owner. put the labels back on and it's equally hard, right? You're competing for space on shelves. You're competing for space in a retail store. And even harder, if you just own an e-com business, holy Moses, like that's a completely different, you got to pay to play in that world, and it is so expensive. And so the sheer act of buying from these small businesses is the biggest form of validation. And I say this to people over and over again who are constantly asking me, what can I do to support you? And I simply say, you buy from me to support the vision and the values that, we have. Buy from me to support the small businesses that we're supporting. And in that ripple effect, you're continuing to perpetuate, the longevity of small business owners within our community. And there are a lot of them. We need more of them. If you buy from small queer businesses, you are again, wanting them to live on for another day. And I hear this from business owners all the time, small businesses that we meet up in, markets and pop-ups, all the time. It's so validating when you get an order. Getting an order on your website, it's somebody liked what I did, right? And you got to support these small businesses, and you cannot think for a second that, liking them on Instagram or following them is enough, because it's not enough. You got to support, you got to buy from them, you got to give them a call, you got to work with them. And if you love them a lot, reach out to them. If there's something that maybe you want to do together, reach out to them. I'm constantly talking to all my other business friends, and I'm like, hey, I just got in at this store. Let me share this contact information with you and see if you can reach out and see if, you can get in there too. Because that's how you support each other. That's how you ensure that everyone will live on to sell another day, really. But as a purpose-driven brand whose core values are really about, highlighting small businesses from within our queer community, it is my priority to just get out there and to buy from as many people as we possibly can. But not just that, to help them get into other places, to support their brands, to tell their story. And we have this place on our website just called Fruit Fun. And if you go in there, our fruit feed is our blog. And you'll find a lot of the stories that we have about these different makers on there. So we do our part to help tell the story so that people can go in there and read about them and get to know them more. And the idea is that you'll buy from us and you'll love something, and then maybe you'll go to their site and buy more and love them more, and support them more. So, building those core values into what we do was important, and it was really kind of the North Star for everything that we've done.
And it's also so well-rounded, because another part that I like is one of your core values is humor. And I mean, we have a good sense of humor in the LGBTQ community. And I love some of the products are a little reverent. I mean, you have the beautiful candles, you have the lotions and potions, but you have some fun products too. So that's got to be, I just like the whole aesthetic that it's not just glamour and glitz. It's also the fun little things that make the queer community so fun, right?
Absolutely. And, and thank you for pointing that out, because, being a gay guy, buying the thing, Allan and we love gifting. And whenever we go out and buy gifts for our friends' birthdays, it's never just the serious, even for Christmas, it's never just something serious. It's never something expected. And so we love finding the humor in things. We love giving funny gifts. And why there are enough gift box companies out there in the world that give the candle and the crinkle paper and the candy, and there's a lot of those. If you want that easy stuff, you can find them. They're a dime a dozen. But when you come to FruitLoots, there's a lot of humor, and the humor is embedded not only into our packaging but into our products. And like you said, whether it's we had this pin, last Christmas that we brought from a really great company called The Found, and they did really amazing pins, and they're queer owned. And the pin just said fruitcake. And, it's like you could love fruitcake. You are a fruitcake. There are fruitcakes during the holidays. There's always that level of humor built into what we do. And it's one of the really cool things about the packaging that we have is that there's these cool sleeves that go around the boxes, and they're high design, but we built in this little nostalgia piece into it that's similar to like when you used to go into cereal boxes and find the games and prizes inside of it. Whenever you get a Fruit Loots box and you take the sleeve off, you can cut them open and there's fun things underneath the sleeves. And so in our thank you sleeve, there is a bunch of gratitude cards and postcards and little things that you can post on your cork boards. So you can cut them out and repurpose them. In our happy box, there is, we have it's like kind of an ode to the great GBFs of TV and cinema. So GBS, for those who don't know, gay best friends, throughout, TV history and movie history, there's always been a gay best friend that has been, the right-hand girl or guy to the main character. And so we have this ode to some of the best in queer history and queer cinema. And so that's underneath there. So we're teaching a little bit. We're bringing visibility to the community. And like our birthday sleeve has the queer zodiac. So you can see kind of like a horoscope would be like, who else in queer, the queer universe shares my zodiac sign with me? So when you open it up, you can see all those different things. So we have the straightforward moments and we have the queer history moments, but it's all fun. And we often say here at Fruit Loots, and that's why our little box logo is winking, because there's a little bit of humor. We call him Winky. But it's kind of like being at brunch with your gay best friends, and everyone's, a little bit inappropriate and a lot of fun. So that's what we try to bring with that core value of humor. And, it's never as straightforward or boring in the Fruit Loots universe.
I love it. Well, David Cruz, it's been fantastic catching up today. I'm so excited for your company. Looking forward to using it. Let everyone know where they can find the website and find all these great products and where they can follow you guys on social media.
Of course, and thank you. So you can follow Fruit Loots on any social media platform at Hey Fruit Loots. And Fruit Loots is spelled FruitLoots for everybody out there. And yes, it's a nod to the great cereals of past, but the name is really just about these two fruits having great loot. So LOOTS. There's a lot of play here. There's that humor again. But yes, Hey Fruit Loots on all social media platforms. And fruitloots.com is where you can shop us 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Fantastic. Well, we got to have you back sooner than the 4 years or so it took to get you back on here. Bring Allan with you next time, and we'll have a good old time. We'll talk about all sorts of fun stuff. Thanks for your time, Scott, my friend.
It was so wonderful to see you again, and I just love you so much to pieces. So thank you.
Back at you. Stay on the line for me, guys. We're going to have a special 5 questions with David next Tuesday. Be sure to look for that. And check out Fruit Loots. You're going to really enjoy it. I mean, I love going to the website. They have such great gifts for you. And if you're a small LGBT business owner or woman or person of color, and you have a great product, in fact, be good, look at their website and suggest yourself. You never know what the next great product's going to be for a fantastic little box. We'll be back next week with another interview. You've been listening to Left of Str8 Show. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to The Left of Str8 Show. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcast distributor, and please give us a 5-star rating so more listeners can find us. You can follow us on social media, and be sure to check out our website, www.leftofstraightradio.com, for contests and other news and information. See you next week.